you have to expect a fee. I mean, come on. So the question is, do I pay this smaller fee? Yes, in dollar terms, it's still expensive. Or do I pay this fat tax and just figure out something else on my own?
Let's now shift to maybe the other objection someone might have, which is, okay, this all sounds really great. I get that it's legal. It's the 27-year track record, thousands of closes. You have lifetime audit defense, right? The legal team explains the how to do it, how it works. Got it. Okay, it's all the proven template, what I can do, what I can't do. Brett is the trustee with controls and the things that we have to go through for investments. I get that. I think I feel good about that. But now it's maybe it's the fees or because the fees aren't cheap, Tom, right? They're not cheap. But just talk about the way that you even approach underwriting any deal that you're doing, right? Or any strategy or any person that you're hiring, right? The investment into the strategy or the thing that you're doing. Walk us through your mind for numbers and how you apply that to the deferred sales trust.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't really consider the 1031 a long-term vehicle. I think it's short-term. At some point, you'll have to exit and take a huge hit. So you're essentially comparing a tax hit of somewhere between 21 to 30%, give or take, versus a fee to set up the account, which, by the way, is very standard with any trust. I mean, I just paid, 1.5% for JP Morgan Chase on one of our trusts, right? So people need to make money across the board. So you have to expect a fee. I mean, come on. So the question is, do I pay this smaller fee? Yes, in dollar terms, it's still expensive. Or do I pay this fat tax and just figure out something else on my own? So, but again, I still think it's important not to discredit the team that you get with it, which again is access to a lot of other people, entrepreneurs, yourself, lawyers. And I think you're branching out to other players to help people, advise their financials and everything else, right?
Yeah, exactly. That it's like a family office approach. We try to bring in the best of the best. As part of why we're bringing like Tom for investing in Texas and land and developments, right? And we have other strategic alliances across the country as well to try to build like a network of all of us helping one another. Talk about the ongoing fees though, Tom, because it's not just as a one-time fee to the tax attorney, right? But then there's the ongoing, right? About 1.5% to 2%, depending on the AUM and where everyone's at. Just talk about so the promissory note, it's at $3 million at an 8 or 9% compounding interest rate net of the fees, right? Net of the fees is the goal. And then talk about, I think it'd be good for people to hear from you, like when you partner with the trust, you can get additional upside, right? You're not capped at like that 8 or 9, because someone like yourself who's used to doing, double digits consistently over, and maybe even, in the 20s and the 30s, right? Over a period of time, doesn't want to go those upsides. So talk about how to partner with the trust and what that looks like for not capping.
Yeah, well, I think and this is the one complexity that definitely drew some confusion initially, but I think it is important to probably walk through that nuance, because eventually I chose that, and then instead of having cash that's sitting there getting eaten up by 4 or 5% inflation, I decided to take the route of maximizing that additional amount of cash. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And then so by partnering with the trust, especially if you're an active GP like Tom is doing the deals, you have an opportunity to basically like earn additional upside, which is a powerful way. Now you can also be passive, right? And just wait and just invest with someone like a Tom passively, the trust can, or other investments that produce a return. And then just basically be at that amount of money, but you're not capped if you do the joint venture partnership. And that's really the key here if everyone's listening. And that's how we make the deferred sales trust an investment and not an expense.